Hey guys, this is me Anwesha and welcome back to my channel. 2 years ago, I posted a book recommendations video on all the books that I had read recently, and boy oh boy, the list has been growing ever since. Also, because the response that I got on that video was quite positive, I decided to make a part 2 of my book recommendations video. So here we are with some more must read books. The first book in today's video is going to be Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book talks about how one can create good habits that actually last while giving up on your bad habits. He provides the readers with many tips that actually work, like, for example, breaking down your habits into 4 simple ideas: cue, craving, response, reward, focusing on the process rather than focusing on the output, and finishing the task that can be done in 2 minutes, etc. etc. This book was quite trending and I saw it almost everywhere. And the description of this book made me feel that this is one such book that I will actually enjoy reading. Starting from the first page, I felt so good reading this book and just wanted to know everything that is required for creating good habits. Along with being an interesting book, this also is a quite motivating book and I will give it a 9.5 out of 10. The second book is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. In this book, the author tells the reader how important the subconscious mind of a person is. He further explains that a person's thinking capability is divided in two parts. Number one, the conscious thinking, where the person is aware and knows what he or she is thinking. For example, if a person is planning to go out, or if somebody is thinking what shoes to buy. Number two, unconscious or subconscious thinking, where the person is not fully aware of what they are thinking. To make it simpler, consider an example where there is this one person who is absolutely good at photography, but to avoid flattery, he keeps on saying things like, "Oh, I'm not that great at photography, I'm worse in this field." And a few months down the lane, his techniques actually get worse. That is how the subconscious mind affects you. Dr. Murphy has explained the effects of this thinking on various areas of our life. For example, health, work, personal relations, etc. etc. Initially, I was really into this book and loved how the author explained every minute detail about the subconscious mind of a person, but I soon found this book quite repetitive. The same thing was being repeated over and over again, which soon burnt my interest down. In my opinion, I will give this book a 7 out of 10. The next book is The Immortals of Melua by Amish Tripathi. This is a fictional and mythological book and part 1 of the infamous Shiva trilogy. I wanted to try out all the 3 books, but I wasn't so sure if I would like all of them. So for the time being, I just bought the first book. I was amazed by the creativity shown by the writer. His thinking and writing style truly mesmerized me. The way he imagined Shiva's life in a what if this happened manner was truly commendable. I thoroughly enjoyed the book, and every new chapter gave me new emotions, and it made me feel as if I were a part of the book. The spark slightly died down on the part where Shiva and Sati's marriage was described, but it also might have been because I had set my expectations high reading the first few pages of the book. Overall, I am highly satisfied with this book and would give it an 8 out of 10. The next book is The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. I had read this book a few weeks after our boards ended. In fact, you guys might have seen me reading this book in my Hometown Diaries vlog as well. This book is a fictional account that follows the journey of an entrepreneur, an artist, and a billionaire who initially presented himself as a homeless person. Throughout their journey, the billionaire teaches the other two many crucial life values, which, when followed, sprouts really great results. Most importantly, just like the title says, it helps the readers understand why waking up a little extra early in the morning is so beneficial and how that extra 60 minutes in the morning can affect your complete day. Just like Atomic Habits, I had heard a lot about this book as well. In fact, I used to see so many of my classmates reading this book during our break times. In fact, one of my friends from whom I borrowed this book from, even she had it. So it kind of motivated me to just give this book a go. And I'll be honest, this book never put me down. Through every page I flipped, my interest had been the same as it was in the beginning of the book. In my personal opinion, this book is no less than Atomic Habits, and I would personally give it a solid 9 out of 10. Okay, the last three books are a part of a series, and this was also quite a trending book series. Initially, I was skeptical to get them because of the title, but oh my god, the storyline in all the three books is so fantastic and keeps the reader hooked throughout. The author has done seriously such a fabulous job writing the three books, presenting A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Starting with the first book, which is titled A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Don't worry, it does not teach you how to go and do a murder. It just tells the story of a 17-year-old girl named Pippa Fitz-Amobi. 5 years ago, a crime had taken place in the town she lived, and as a part of a school project, she decides to investigate this case. Also, not to forget, she also does this investigation because she thinks that the justice wasn't served right. Many of my friends used to read this book. In fact, my benchmate, she used to come every day and tell me some bits of the story going on, which made me want to get it. And yes, it was worth getting it. The story is highly amusing and gets the reader engaged from the first page itself. In my opinion, this gets a 9.5 out of 10. Second book of the series, Good Girl, Bad Blood. Now, our main lead Pippa has solved the previous case, but there's a new case in town. Somebody she knows and is familiar with has gone missing. Even though she does not want to, but yet again she has to step in the shoes of a detective and solve this case. This time she has also started a podcast which turns out to be a great help to her, but as it is said, a coin has two sides. Being the second book in the series, the story gets a little darker, but it's still a must read. If the first book was a good engager, this one surely keeps the reader hooked throughout the story and will always make the reader question what's gonna happen ahead. I personally went through a roller coaster of emotions after finishing this book, and the climax was also quite unexpected. Thumbs up, a 9.5 out of 10. The third book of the series is As Good as Dead. This book follows up from where the second book ended. Apparently, Pippa is traumatized by the events that took place in the second book. Due to this, she has a hard time falling asleep, but she tries her best to get her normal life back. Only when things were starting to get back to normal, a new case comes up. And guess what? This time, Pippa is the target. After the massive popularity of her podcast, she gets some prank death threats, out of which this one message, which reads, "Who will look for you when you're the one who disappears," is sent to her quite frequently. Initially, she does not pay much attention to these messages, but things seem a little weird when some creepy activities start to take place near her house. She soon realizes that she might have a stalker, and this stalker most probably is from her own neighborhood. Again, being the third book of the series, the story gets even darker and has so many connections with the first and second book. After finishing this book, I was shivering for the next few minutes. Maybe that's enough to tell you how creepy the book gets. In between, I felt the spark die down a bit because the story was being stretched and some phrases were being repeated over and over again. But take my word, the second part of this book gets really amazing. This surely would get a 9 out of 10. Well, that is it for this video. Comment down below if you have some more book suggestions, and do let me know if you like this video by giving this a big thumbs up. Stay safe, see you soon, till then take care and bye bye.